Are we warming up?
It does look stupid. just to explain, hello, welcome to this will be episode 12, I think.
Yes.
I'm not going to keep this on.
Please.
We're hurdy-gurdies today. Can you guess what we're talking about? Well, we will reveal it, and I will take this off, but I'm basically trying to look a bit pagan, a little bit sort of tribal. I do wear this in my own Hastings cult called Molly Winklers, where I have to Morris dance for fun. Take that.
I mean, this sounds like
how you like.
This sounds like we're doing Wicker Man, but we're not.
And I made these.
Not far removed. You made these.
Very annoying.
Is that the rhythm that you did when you danced for the Green Man?
Well, it's just these go around your ankles, so it's a lot of stomping.
Okay.
But I made these, but I'm going to leave it there because they're annoying. But these are some clues as to what we might be doing. We've got Morris dancing, we've got pagan things, ribbons in our hair, maypole-y type stuff, and lots of beautiful flowers. Look how beautiful Kim is.
Oh, look, embroidered linen or whatever it is.
And I have a vine, and it's all beautiful spring flowers and lovely innocent virginal white things to show, I don't know, I'm cupping, to show, well, that's the whole point, isn't it? It's like all the lovely beauty and innocence and floralness, but underneath it all, there's going to be a lot of horror and terror.
Oh, that's where it comes from. The surface is calm and serene, but there's an unsettling element.
Very much so. Right, so, kind of warmed up.
Are we sharing on here, or are they waiting? Well, they'll know soon enough what it is that we're doing.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
Right, haven't drugged it. Unlike what's about to happen to some of the characters.
Got menstrual blood in it.
Oh, might have a little bit. Okay, here we go. Who's going first?
Me. Should I go straight in now?
I guess so.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready. Today's episode plummets violently into a movie that director himself describes as the Wizard of Oz for perverts. My kind of movie. He doesn't mince his words. And in honour of that, let's do the same. We are talking about Midsommar.
Midsommar.
There's no pirates.
There is no pirates. There's no Scottish people, just Swedish people. But the pronunciation of Midsommar does come into it. But whether you are a juicy, fresh, wide-eyed midsummer virgin awaiting a psychedelic trip into paganism here today, or you might be well versed in this flick and know all about it, but we aim to deliver all the controversies surrounding the film in terms of the hugely divisive opinions and reactions out there, as well as provide some fresh viewpoints, hopefully, for you to ponder on. What the freak is going on with Midsommar? What are the hidden meanings and symbolism? Midsommar. And we've just been discussing this at length off pod.
Yeah.
Who really are the victims and villains? I love the victim-villain fence, what side they're on in this strange piece of celluloid.
Yeah.
And with the pronunciations, apparently it's not Ariaster, it's Ariaster, but I can't keep it up.
Pretend you're American, Ari.
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 I'm learning Ari. So Kim, basically on the film Midsommar, love or loathe?
Love.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love Ari Aster as well. I mean, he doesn't miss. So far, he's made 4 films. Hereditary, 2018, followed quickly in 2019 with this one, Midsommar, and then Beau is Afraid, which I thought was astounding, 2023, and then Eddington, 2025, which is kind of a COVID movie, which is, I'm still actually, I only watched that recently, and I'm still getting to grips with.
Oh,
but
are they horrors?
Eddington isn't. Beau is Afraid sits on the edge of horror, but it's not really billed as a horror.
Well, whether you like or loathe the term elevated horror, I mean, I don't love the term, but actually all it's describing in my mind is a piece like Midsommar or Hereditary, which is basically more emotionally intelligent, more character driven. It's like a drama, and there's horror elements.
And the arty element as well.
I guess the art house element, but that doesn't make things... I mean, that makes things good. I'll go into this a little bit as to why a lot of people were perhaps a little bit disappointed with Midsommar. And I think, you know, as some people are saying, like the misrepresenting it in their marketing might have come into it, but that's a sort of different aspect to what we're talking about today. On Ari Aster's films, I don't know how you feel about this, but looking at people's reactions and silly things like the IMDb score meter and things like awards, Hereditary is seen as the better film. You think? I mean, certainly out there.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it is amazing. And the fact that they, you know, as you said, Hereditary was just 1 year before Midsommar, so I guess people were expecting something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the style is similar, I guess.
Yeah, and they're both about family drama.
Emotional purging, grieving, you know, like really hardcore grieving as well.
Yeah.
I might take this silly thing off. I'm wearing, for those who can't see, I'm wearing a pagan headdress.
It's got shells, and is that supposed to be some kind of sea?
This is actually from Hastings Beach.
Is it?
So it's fishermen. I didn't steal it.
Right.
It's like it was like just it was a bit smelly. I did wash it. It's from
Dogs
Hastings
piss
Beach.
and fish
Probably dogs
stuff,
piss and
yeah.
fish and chips. Nice mix. Put that down there.
Anyway, that's what she's wearing.
Yes, so Hereditary, for example, got 52 awards, Midsommar 27, but that's just for your info. And yeah, they definitely both have similar themes. I think they look at female rage quite a lot.
Yes.
And that really comes out in both of them very well. Very good actors that he works with.
And they both deal with matriarchal... I was going to say societies, but microcosms of a matriarchal society, and it's all gone just as it does in Alien, awry under the rule of a woman.
That's not a good message, but anyway.
No, but this is what's there. Both of those films and Alien, which I talked a lot about. I think it's all out there about the vaginal imagery of the spaceship in Alien,
which is quite overt and obvious, I would say. But we'll save that for Alien because that's going to be a good one, isn't
topic.
It? Right. So just to remind you, a little bit of story. Should we do a little bit, just a little bit of plot, so we know where we are.
Okay. So if you don't know, or if you just need a little reminder, story goes right. Following an immensely traumatizing tragedy, a grieving Dani joins her somewhat lukewarm boyfriend Christian and his friends on a trip to a once-in-a-lifetime midsummer festival in a remote Swedish village. What begins as a carefree summer holiday in a land of eternal sunlight takes a sinister turn when the insular villagers... I used the word insular when I was writing my notes, we're the same. The insular villagers invite their guests to partake in festivities that render the pastoral paradise increasingly unnerving and viscerally disturbing. A cinematic fairy tale where a world of darkness unfolds in broad daylight.
Beautiful. Just FYI, that is from the A24 website when they're listing all the films that they distribute, of which there are many, and I mean that's like, you don't really get such an in-depth plot line as that with the IMDb or Netflix, so that's quite a good one. I think it's very, very relevant, obviously, that it's in broad daylight and you get all these juxtapositions of the horror, and I mean it's not just broad daylight, it's sort of ironically suffocatingly claustrophobically bright. Like it's too intense, like you almost need sunglasses to watch the film. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's really, really kind of overtly that is part of the intensity of it. And
I think that marks it out maybe from other folk horror, which traditionally do have a lot of daylight sequences, but it's not always. Like when I think about Witchfinder General, it's kind of a grey British
Because it's
light,
filmed
isn't
here.
it? Yeah, exactly. But I suppose, and Wicker Man is daylight.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jack in the Green and May Day. You know, when we think of pagan societies, blah blah blah, we think of celebrations like May Day, the celebration of fertility in spring.
And colour.
And colour and brightness and all that. And this particular festival isn't May Day, obviously. It's Midsummer. We don't really have that so much here in Britain, do we?
No.
I mean, I know we have Summer Solstice. Is that our version of Midsummer?
I suppose so.
Just coming up.
I suppose so. I'm not sure what time of year Midsummer takes place. Was that addressed?
Well, they must do, because even Shakespeare had a freaky, weird Midsummer play.
Midsummer
Maybe
Night's
everyone just
Dream.
goes bonkers when it's too hot. Maybe that's what it's all about. Too hot and you lose it.
And then in some parts of the world, as we know, in Sweden, it's sunny all day round the 24 hours. Also,
that endless sunlight, which they refer to.
in northern Scotland, you get that as well.
I do, and Norway and places, which would mess with your circadian rhythms and all that sort of thing.
So,
all right, very quickly, the players. And then you can jump in.
Yeah.
So there's lots of people in it, but the main people we're going to talk about: Florence Pugh, brilliant English actress, plays Dani, the broken, grieving, traumatized girlfriend. We've got Jack Rayner playing Christian. William Jackson Harper plays Josh, who's one of the friends. There are some more, actually, I should put them in. And then the Pele, I can't pronounce this, is Wilhelm Blomgren.
that was
Wilhelm Blomgren. Oh, shit, sorry.
You should have just stopped. You didn't.
I shouldn't have kept going with insulting him.
And then, of course, we've got Will Poulter as Mark, because he became a massive star.
Yeah.
And the other notable actor in it is Archie Madekwe, who plays Simon, who some of you might know.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Isn't he in Saltburn?
Yes.
Yes. English guy.
Yes.
Yes. So that's who we've got. Well, I've been thrown. I don't know if I'm going to discuss that because it's gone off topic.
What I was going to say, and there's a couple of times that I've thought today, so I thought, no, I'll save it, but I'm going to say it now because it's relevant. But Ben Wheatley came to town a couple of weeks ago. We were in Hastings with his film. God, what was the film called? I've just watched it. Bulk. With his film Bulk. And did a Q&A at the Electric Palace Cinema, where me and Em do Fright Night, and show some of these films that we talk about on the podcast. And I asked him about, knowing this was coming up, and wanting personally to do an episode on Kill List, which fits into the folk horror genre.
Horror.
I asked Ben about folk horror and why he thinks the evil in as presented, or the villainy as presented in folk horror, is more chilling in that setting. And he
good question.
Well, he sighed and told me off for asking an essay question.
Oh,
but what he did say was quite interesting. So can I share it now before we?
Please do. Okay. You can share your mini dissertation.
Oh, mini dissertation.
On yes.
Right. Okay. So he said folk horror is odd because it means different things in different places, I think. And I think in the UK it's very specific, and I felt it myself when I made Kill List. And making it in that realm was the definite feeling of history being very present and being ... You're a modern person, but you're in the past, and you can see, especially in Hastings or in Sussex, and where I used to live outside of Brighton, we were like a 2-minute walk to a golf course, but it was on an Iron Age hill fort. So you feel the people, the bodies there, but you don't know what it is. It's a mystery. Mm-hmm. And so within that, the gap between the past and the mystery is something that's there. Whether there is horror itself and you're terrified of it, or that they're evil, that's not a thing. I don't agree with the idea of evil necessarily, but I think the unknown is a place that you fill with your own neuroses, maybe. And the fact that you don't, this is before history, this stuff, or written history at least, hazy. And folk horror itself was kind of created in the 70s anyway, so there's a lot of bullshit flopping around inside here. I know that going to America, where The Wicker Man is like a historical documentary, there was a big laugh then when he said that at this moment. And that this reminded me of Midsommar, where in Sweden they did not take that well to the film because of it feeling. We're going to talk about.
We can talk about that cultural appropriation.
Yeah, a black comedy almost, because it really kind of exaggerated the customs and stuff. So he said it's not really like that, you know. And then I get asked stuff like, why are you making stuff like The Wicker Man? Yeah, it's not about that. It's about history, he said, not about films. Not everything is about the continuity. So I think what he was saying essentially is that there's this weirdness about these historical places that is unsettling innately, but he's not sure if that's a presence of evil, or he doesn't believe that's a presence of evil.
Yeah, I think I know what he's getting at. And I think we do feel it quite acutely here in Hastings, this sense that we are at the same time connected and completely disconnected from our own ancestry and from our past and history, because we're evolving at such a fast rate. I mean, this is a different topic for discussion, but why folk horror seems to be on everyone's lips. It really is on the increase, even in our real pop culture. I've just joined a Morris dancing side, for example. Everything's getting more popular. I'm seeing articles everywhere looking at how folk culture is almost seen as a sense of rebellion, because it's more about community and the small, as you were discussing a little bit as well, versus big governments, pharma, corporations, all of that. It's seen more as a rebellion, and let's look after ourselves now. So that's another reason why I think it's coming into our just sort of coming into our world a lot more. And it's interesting though, because I always have a slight issue with this. I'm like, so what is folk horror saying? Are we sort of missing this lovely weird past that we had pre-Christianity, or is it something we fear? That I can't answer. Because obviously, you know, in a film, they have to make it more dramatic and horrifying, because otherwise it wouldn't be very interesting. Yeah. But let's go on to the whole sort of cultural thing and the Swedish thing. So there is like, I started typing a question and realised lots of people had been typing in this question. Is Midsommar offensive to Swedish people? So at first I thought, oh, surely not. This is ridiculous. Because Midsommar is not representing all Swedish people. Of course it's not. But relevant for different reasons. It's a co-production between America and Sweden. Yet, there are reasons for this. It wasn't even filmed in Sweden. I presume they had Swedish crew. I mean, I can't tell. I can't tell just looking at the names whether they're just Nordic.
They've got Swedish cast members.
Yeah, but they certainly filmed it in Hungary.
Yeah.
And there was a reason for that, wasn't there? It might be probably because it was cheaper and they got to have this huge area of land where they could build an entire life-size village, which in itself is phenomenal and cool. And it gave them a lot of freedom in terms of creating amazing huge wide shots and sweeping shots and dolly shots and grand master kind of establishing moments where you see this, like, I suppose small village, but seeing it wide, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean they've got total control over what the buildings and structures look like as well, didn't they? There were angles and there was a kind of a symmetry that was present in the film. But not in a Wes Anderson way where it's all completely symmetrical, but in a kind of a loose way.
But I mean, yes, okay, so some of the customs that are in Midsommar are real, and they're not just Swedish though, so that's why I'm like, I don't see, it's not just a Swedish thing. We have maypole dancing here.
Yes.
The Wicker Man has a huge element of human sacrifice. We're not saying, oh, that's what English people do, is sacrifice people, because we're not actually Christian.
And burning,
some of the traditions are based on real Swedish stories, folk stories. Some of them are true, some of them aren't. However, it is relevant. There was some backlash. There were some Swedish journals who did critique this sort of cultural appropriation element of the specifically the Haga commune. That's what they're called, the small commune. So renowned Swedish cultural journalist critique Po Tidholm, probably can't say it properly, highlighted that the film completely relied on an outsider's fantasy of Sweden, and she noted the irony that a quote Swedish and American horror film was heavily filmed in Hungary but catered to an American audience's appetite for the exotic, which I guess, you know, she has a point.
Yeah, she does, but you know, there's an argument to be made for presenting a fantasy ideal of what if ideal is the right word, because they're certainly not ideal, but or idea of what a Swedish commune might look like.
Yeah, and it's not representative of all of Sweden either. So
no, really, if it's looking at our attitudes in some way, one of the themes of the film is looking at our attitudes as what we were saying, arrogant outsiders on a what seems to be a more primitive community, and how we exploit that or feel about that. Certainly the people that visit there from America in the film seem to have a degree of arrogance.
Definitely.
Yes.
And when we're looking at I've got it later on in the notes, I don't know if we should do it now. There's a little I came up with a little list of why people are so divisive and reacted in such weird ways towards the film. And I don't know if I should just go through it, but one of them is unlikable characters. Well, what I was going to do is say what the issues or niggles that people had with Midsommar and kind of get your opinion on it.
Yeah.
So we could do that, and then we'll go into the Dani
the Dani Christian
Dani versus Christian Gate. Who's the victim? Who's the villain? And where you stand on all of that. So apparently, okay, where are we? Misleading marketing. So people. So one of the reasons it had a negative reaction, possibly was that it was sort of marketed as this crazy fun film and it's going to be like Hereditary, although I would argue that Hereditary is still a slowish drama. And then they were presented with this slow burn film, and in Midsommar there was a lot of setup before things kick off.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you might have made this clear, but we're not talking about just the Swedish audience here turning against the film, but critics, audience members that just generally didn't like it around the world, so, or didn't warm to it as much as we did, maybe. But
well, I think,
American audiences,
okay,
British
marketing,
audiences.
possibly it was marketed wrong, but that's just a money-making thing.
Yeah.
People complained about the pacing and its art house style. It's seen as style over substance. Agree or disagree, Kim?
Totally disagree.
So do I.
God. Oh,
get over it. It's like, what's wrong with a bit of style anyway?
both of those things. Anyway, I don't think this film is particularly art house at all. I mean,
because it's well shot and it's got a really he's gone to lengths to figure out the art design and the shapes and the colour and the palette and the mood. I mean, those are all good things, aren't they?
Yeah, well, they are. But with regard to pacing, it is a long film. But we watched it again recently when we presented it at Fright Night, and I was gripped throughout, and I didn't once feel like, geez, this is dragging, or it felt perfectly paced to me.
You don't watch it if you want American Werewolf in London, or
I want that as well.
Exactly, or Nightmare on Elm Street. They're different films, but yeah, some people thought it was just loads of symbolism and some with mixing in some real shock value moments, like the suicide death kind of thing at the. With the old people, I'm not saying that very well.
And they were all those moments where you saw that extreme gore, which is what it was.
I love those moments.
But they're sudden, they're quite fleeting, but they are powerful and impactful, but they're not necessarily what audiences for horror, or mainstream horror at least at that time, had been expecting. I think, around the time this came out, audiences had been enjoying a resurgence in horror, but it was generally the kind that was infused with comedy and really self-aware, whereas this is not. I mean, there's funny moments in this.
Well, this is another complaint, is that, and again...
they were made for the social media generation, those horror films.
Doorbell! I'm going to pause that.
Okay.
I wonder if I can... Oh, bugger, it's probably just...
Leave that running.
I'll leave that running, I won't be long. I think it's probably closed or something. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay. What are those? I don't know what they are. Okay. Oh, so many topics.
I know.
I wanted to go. What are you on? Because I just want to pick up on something you said because it's on this.
Listed about mainstream horror being at that time.
Oh, the horror, the gore.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do you want me? You?
Yeah.
Okay. Or should I go?
Yeah. Go in. We need to.
Oh yeah. Well
start
done.
that again.
Gosh. Oh gosh, it's not recording. Play? No, it wouldn't be play if I stopped it. Stop. Oh, there we go. With the sort of brutal moments where you see, I guess, gore, for want of a better word, when there's two old people, they reach 72. This is it's really hard to explain everything. There's so much going on here. But when in the Haga commune, it is normal and it is a ritual and everyone has to do it. When you get to the age of 72, you jump off this very tall cliff to your, one hopes, instant death. The female character does it quite successfully and dies. The male character, he jumps and he lands on his feet and he doesn't die, he just breaks all his legs. And it's really gruesome, but quite realistic. That is what would happen. And then I like... Well, if you don't die, the rule is someone is like on standby with a giant sort of sledgehammer thing and they just bash your brains in. And they show this very brutally. And because I'm a bit sick and gross, I quite liked it. When you're in an audience, as we were, that is when people start laughing. And it's a nervous laughter. And some people have complained saying there's too many tonal shifts going on. Is it horrible? Is it tragic? Is it funny? And I'm like, well, it's all of them.
Yes.
And it's not an accident. Ari Aster. I've got a really good quote of his.
Go on.
Where can I find it? Ari Aster himself said when he was asked.
Also, it doesn't. You keep finding it. You keep looking, and when it doesn't matter if it's deliberate or not. The fact that all of these feelings are there when you're watching the film is really interesting, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
I mean, why do we laugh at something? I love that they teed that bit up with the mallet. I'll call it a mallet. You called it a. What did you call it? I don't know. It's a big hammer. Wooden hammer.
Big
They
mallet.
teed it. The camera pans quite slowly past him at the beginning while he's just standing there holding it. And of course, if you've never seen it, you don't know what's coming. And then, that's what that's for.
I mean, I would say it isn't that funny as a film. It might be peppered with the odd funny moment, but I would argue maybe if you are the sort of person who finds these things funny, again, it's like a sort of a nervous, weird, knee-jerk reaction. Well, but anyway, quickly, I found it. So Ari Aster said when he was asked, how do you want people to feel watching this film? And it's quite a simple response. He said, quote, I hope this film leaves people feeling a little bit confused as to how to feel about the film. And I would say tick, big tick. Yeah. So hit that, it's intentional, I think.
Yeah. Wow. There you go.
So don't worry about not knowing exactly how to feel when you watch a film. But you have to be spoon-fed.
That's what's interesting.
Everything.
That is what's interesting. And I don't like it, with a lot of what they call elevated horror, that it feels so manipulative. I like a pure kind of... I like all sorts of films. I like all sorts of horror films.
We like trash as well.
Yeah, but I really like digging into the stuff that they haven't thought that much about and why they've done it. And it's not always cleverer because there's intention. I don't think. Anyway.
True. It's almost like what you can take away from it, and a lot of directors sometimes say, "Oh, that wasn't intentional at all."
Yeah.
In this case, I think it might have been. But going back to another point we were sort of touched upon, many people did not like the characters at all. So they cited unlikable characters as a major bone of contention.
That's bloody normal in horror films, isn't it?
Well, I think you have to either love to hate them, like, do you know what I mean, like loving a good villain, and loving their demise, or you have to be rooted for someone. However, maybe again this was intentional. So viewers found, maybe American viewers, I don't know, that the American characters, not the Swedish ones, were shallow, unsympathetic, and annoying and disrespectful, to the point where people were rooting for the cult, the Haga cult, and the Swedish murderers rather than the protagonist. But again, maybe, you know, he's probably making a specific point with that, going into the idea of, well, they're anthropology students. That's obviously no, you know, that's accident. No mistake or accident. He's commenting on the fact that there are these two clashing cultures coming together.
It's a bit like...
which is a real folk horror trope.
Yeah, and it's a bit like Cannibal Holocaust, where that team of filmmakers go in completely arrogantly, supercilious, trying to capture the footage of these tribes, and they come a cropper because they've totally underestimated and they've transgressed various... well, I mean, as a viewer, as a Western viewer ourselves, you can see that what they're doing is not the best way to go about things anyway. It's not just that they are transgressing from the tribe's perspective. You can see that they're completely arrogant. And this applies to both of these films.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we talked a little bit before about this why they present the Americans in this way versus presenting the Swedish cult members in the way they do. In the Haga commune, they are happy. They all work together. They all seem to be pretty content, really. But there's a big element of teamwork. Everyone has a role. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone knows the plan. And this is a plan. And make no mistake about that. And this is where the whole idea of villainy gets really clouded in the film, and blame and all of that. But the Americans are presented as these kind of, well, they're representative of US individualism, and I think you can read the film as saying, well, look, if you work together as a community, as a team, you can get shit done. It all falls apart when you're so individualistic. I mean, in that culture, Dani's sister has found that there's a blackness that means she's wanted to end her life and take her parents with her. And they're all kind of troubled. Mark is particularly selfish. We see him pissing on a sacred tree. Yeah. And when he's told that it's a sacred tree, he's like, it's dead. It's got no respect.
Exactly.
And then Christian and Dani and their relationship, and we're going to talk about Christian.
Yeah, I mean, they're the main, obviously the main players, and the dynamic, the shifting dynamic is obviously Dani and Christian. A couple of things on the fact that they are anthropology students, Mark, played by Will Poulter, he said he also does provide a bit of comedic relief.
Yes.
Like, you know, when they're taking drugs at the very beginning, and what does it say? Like, why is it 9 o'clock or something? I mean, it's not really very funny when I say it out of context.
And he tells them all to lie down, doesn't he?
Yeah, everybody lie down. So yeah, they do the trippy scenes really well. But yeah, there's just little scatterings of humour. But basically, he's pretty arrogant throughout the whole thing. I'd say he's kind of likeable, but arrogant, disrespectful, as you say, pisses on a tree, and they're all really shocked by this. Suffice to say, things don't end well for Mark.
and then Josh as well, who goes back to photograph the sacred text. Yeah, sorry.
There's Christian and Josh are writing, I don't know what they call it in America, but dissertations, thesis, there you go, on their final anthropology project. And they happen to be getting invited to this very strange 9-day festival. We'll go into the number 9, which only happens once every 90 years. So it literally is a once in a lifetime opportunity for everyone involved, including the Haga. And because while they're there, they realise how odd and strange and quirky this community really is. But unlike the Wicker Man, they are very welcoming. They're really nice to the outsiders. So yes, they're insular, but I mean, of course, they're welcoming because we know now they want their sacrifices.
Yes, and this is partly where the argument that they are evil or villainous comes from, because this is really calculated. They've sent Pele
it's been
out
manipulated.
into the world and his brother Ingmar to collect people to bring back for their sacrificial rituals.
And also getting into the the sex ritual, because because they are so insular. If they keep breeding, and we see results of this, which provides another element of like shock horror, a bit of freak show. Oh God, look at that, Deliverance style horror. They want a very virile. They want the men because they will help spread some seed from the outside world to try and get over the whole inbreeding problem and
got a
to
eugenics program, basically.
They've thought it through. They have thought it all through. So they're not just there for the sacrifice. They are there also to provide the pregnancy and fertility element is there, and they don't want to just inbreed.
Yeah, although they do want to do that as well, because they produce their primary oracle. Is that what he's called? Reuben in the film is their current primary oracle.
Who's kind of quite alarming to see because he's quite deformed, but he's the one that... Do they just spend ages drawing and
He draws
and
then they interpret his drawings as directives.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But so we've got Josh... he thinks what a rare and incredible opportunity this is. First-hand experience of the Haga, not tribe, but commune. And he does get permission. He does ask. He is respectful at first. This is why the characterization in the writing is really good. It's not just, he's evil and wrong. He's respectful at first, and he works within their boundaries. They say, okay, you can document us. And you see him talking to the elders. But the big no-no is... he asks to take a photograph of this beautiful old book which lists the drawings and the rituals and the history of the Haga, and Josh wants to take photos, and they're like, no, like big no, this is disrespectful, and it's probably what's the word, not bad luck, but in some cultures it's actually it's almost like it can take someone's soul. They have that in cultures. If you take a photo of this with your modern camera, it's taking away a bit of the soul, a bit of the magic. But then he goes back in the night secretly to take photos of this sacred text before he's met by one of the Haga tribe wearing the skin of Mark, the face of Mark.
Very leather face, but
so that doesn't end well. I mean, obviously they don't know they're going to do all of that, but they are still sort of, they want them as victims, and they are, I guess they're punished for their disrespectful behaviour, but they would have probably died anyway.
I mean, there might be a weeding out of who's going to breed with the red-headed girl. Marja, is that her name? There might be a kind of who's the most
virile
fit,
and sexy,
and.
But also it may have been to manipulate Dani into hating Christian, and ultimately choosing him to be the final sacrifice. I don't know. That's quite a lot of thinking ahead.
Well, I think I don't know, because part of me was wondering how far their manipulation goes. Right, so they send Pele and Ingmar out to bring back people, and they have a very tight plan. Otherwise, I think there are variables within it, such as they didn't know that Josh was going to go and do that, and blah blah blah. But I was thinking, did they go so far as to facilitate her sister's apparent suicide, murder-suicide, or Pele may have done in order to pull strings and get Dani
I think
in a
that would be
place
going
where
too
she
far.
couldn't go back.
But she was already bipolar and very disturbed, and there's no evidence shown that Pele has anything to do with the sort of suicidal sister. However, I would say that towards the end, where it's really, it's kind of getting to its climax emotionally, and the climax of the film, all folk horror ends in some disgusting weird ritual and sacrifice. I think they do manipulate Dani to start seeing him and her boyfriend as someone to basically purge herself of, to get rid of, so that she basically at the very end, we should say at the beginning, loads of spoilers here, they give her the choice. So we'll have to rewind and talk about their relationship dynamic, but she ultimately chooses her boyfriend as opposed to a member of the Haga. They're literally standing in front of her, and she chooses Christian to be sacrificed at the very end. But I'm probably jumping ahead a little bit there. I just want to touch on something that I found that's quite interesting. I didn't realise this, but apparently Ari Aster was very specific in his looking at sort of the anthropology side of things. There's a presence of specific Norse runes in the film. You see a lot of the runes, and some of them have a history of Nazi appropriation, apparently. And it's used by Asta to highlight violent ideologies, because they are violent, essentially. They just don't find it violent, they find it normal, but hidden within a beautiful folk aesthetic. But Asta he confirmed in interviews that the Haga are intended to represent a white supremacist community, warning about how vulnerable grieving Dani, outsiders like Dani, can be swallowed up by extreme exclusionary ideologies when offered a false sense of community. So I don't know whether it's, again, people who are, when you see people who are sucked into any cults, kind of bizarre cult or commune, they're often, they're at their lowest. And then they're like, ooh, and there's here's an alternative, lovely life for you. But but then some people argue that Dani has found her true family at last. I don't know.
There's definitely a degree of manipulation with her, and she is very vulnerable. But at the end, it's interesting, the smile that she gives. But let's go back. Let's rewind. Let's talk about Christian and Dani's relationships.
Absolutely.
Relationship. And let's start with Christian, because I think you were finding online, Em, that a lot of people really dislike Christian and think he's a shitty boy. Well, he's not a great boy. I wouldn't call him shitty. I think he's in a place where he's not sure about their relationship. He's talked it over with his friends. His friends are like, ditch her. He said, well, I'm not sure. What if I want to get back together with her? And while he's thinking about these things, and it's been a year, we're told, that he's been having doubts, and they've been together 4 years, we learn. The tragic incident with her sister's murder-suicide happens, and she loses her whole family in one fell swoop in horrific circumstances, and she's obviously devastated, grieving. And he feels, probably rightly, that he can't break up with her at this point. So invites her to Sweden. He's planned a trip to Sweden, which Pele has facilitated. And she's found out about by chance, and it's 2 weeks away. And she's a bit upset that he hasn't talked to her about it. But I think, they talk about that. And I was looking for evidence of narcissism or abuse or toxicity in him, and very closely, and I couldn't see it. I mean, he's not very good at communicating with her. He's a bit lost, I think, but he's not a horrible person. But he is set up that way at the start, and we are encouraged to identify with and feel sympathy for Dani, and therefore it can be, I can understand why people would see him through her eyes.
Absolutely. I think the film and the journey that we go on is Dani's journey. But it's, it's really clever. But talking about Christian, and it's a term that's thrown around a bit too much generally, but especially with this film as well. They're like, oh, he's a crap boyfriend. Yes, he is a crap boyfriend. I would say that he's immature. He's a little bit. He shuts down quite a lot. He's not intelligent. He's not emotionally intelligent. But I would not call that toxic masculinity. It's not toxic.
No.
I think he's almost sort of doing his best.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that his best is a bit shit.
Yeah.
And there are specific moments in the film where, again, they show that Ari Aster has put this in the script, where Pele, this perfect Pele, who's actually got lots of plans here, gives, because it's Dani's birthday, and again, I think is she 27, which again goes into the whole number 9 rule.
2+7.
Numerologists will love this film. So Pele, like, oh, I've done you this beautiful, like, this handmade drawing and card, and he draws pictures of her, and he recognises her birthday before her own boyfriend does, and then a few seconds later her boyfriend's like do 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 do, and he's got a really crap cake with one candle in it, and she's like, thanks. So obviously Pele is probably being positioned as the better boyfriend, but yeah, he's just a bit rubbish. And it's hinting that he is not the kind of man that she needs or wants, but I would argue that they have a codependency and they're a little bit toxic with each other. It's done really realistically. There are scenes where, like, she's like, no, don't go, please stay, talk to me, let's talk this through. This is before they end up in Sweden, before the trip. And you know, she does feel a bit punished for not being able to express herself, and of course she's going through a lot, but you know, he stays with her all night when she's grieving. He invites her to Sweden, to the Haga cult, even though all his friends advise him not to. He goes against what his friends want to do and decides not to dump her, as you said.
He also, when she's hesitating about taking their first trip together, as in hallucinogenic trip.
Oh yeah.
And she says, "Oh, I want to wait or something." And then he says, "Oh, I'll wait with Dani."
That's true.
Yeah, and
to come up, let's come up together.
Yeah, and then Mark's like, "Oh, we've got to do it together because that's no good if we're doing different trips." And then she relents then, and because she sees that the position that Christian's in, and she sees that she's letting everybody else down. But that's an example of, you know, Mark's individualism versus her, he's not a team player, versus her need for a team or community.
Yeah,
connection.
and I guess she's a lot more. He's quite self-serving, really. Ultimately, isn't he? He's there for his own gain, especially
to have sex with Swedish girls.
Yeah, I guess, and his friends are. And she's quite willing
Mark,
to bend.
Were you talking about Christian?
I was talking about Christian then, but Christian is quite self-serving as well, especially when he different subject, but he decides to do his thesis on the Haga commune, which pisses Josh off. Because Josh is like, what? This is mine. But then now it's not going to be original, and he's like, you know, suck it up, dude. You know.
But there's another example of them kind of clashing instead of work. He mentions working together.
I want to open this. I'm really sorry. I don't want to disrupt your flow, your menstrual virginal flow. Oh, sorry.
He talks about collaborating with Josh. All right, Josh is like...
Sorry, drinking.
Day drinking. Josh is like resistant to it, and it was his idea first. And so it makes sense that Christian's going, well, we can work together on this. But totally, if this was something that the Haga were doing, anyone in the Haga, they would be really chill about it. Yeah, man, let's just work together on this shit, you know. So it's just another example of the dissent, the divide within the Americans, and that whole, you know,
their attitude. It's the individualism.
Yeah, and it gets punished in the film ultimately by
looking at the actual villainy and, you know, what is actually done crime-wise. In a film that isn't black and white at all, I'm going to be a bit, like, you know, simple here. Christian, okay, out of, you know, nothing, well, let me start again. They do all get drugged, sometimes willingly, sometimes unwillingly, but Christian is specifically drugged, manipulated, Sexually abused, that's another issue I think that maybe the male audience would pick up on, possibly more than us. Just putting that out there. There is a really bizarre sexual ritual in the film towards the end that is both funny and wrong and slightly sexy. If you like your buttock thrusts. It kind of is. It's almost like a fantasy, isn't it? Like some weird and very Rosemary's Baby. Come on.
But the reality versus the fantasy. Yeah.
There's a tribe of really like different ages. Well, lots of old women naked in a ceremonial hut. And then this beautiful virginal looking, we don't know if she's a virgin, girl lying down, giving herself to Christian willingly. This is what she wants, to be impregnated, to, as we say, spread the seed and not get too inbred.
I mean, I presume that she got pregnant after that first encounter.
Because not Midsommar 2.
Because he's dead now. Because they can't use his seed unless they save some.
Well, this is it. That's not very well thought out, is it? Because, you know, if this is a festival that only happens every 90 years, they need some more outsiders if they're not successful with the pregnancy. But, I mean, let's face it. Yes, has to have an erection to have sex. But as you said, he's been given some kind of drug and he's sort of forced into it. He doesn't look particularly happy about it. And there's a woman pushing his buttocks into, you know, when he's having sex, and she comes around and pushes his buttocks in this slightly fumbly, awkward, hilarious, oh my God, is that funny, sexy or disgusting kind of way. So yeah, that is a form of sexual abuse. It's just in reverse.
Yes, it's interesting.
So that he's a victim. Surely he's a victim.
Yeah, I mean, clearly after that whole ritual is over, he is horrified and he runs out naked. Originally, apparently, he was supposed to grab a robe and then run out, but the actor Jack Rayner said, no, I don't think he should. I think when he goes out there, he should be vulnerable.
That's really bold decision.
Yeah, and I think it makes total sense. If he had the character, if he had the thought to grab a robe, it changes things.
It does, and it also makes it look like very dishonest filmmaking and not authentic, because it's like, no, you would be freaked out. He's not quite with it anyway. He's on drugs. You wouldn't go, hang on a minute, where are my slippers? Or let's start putting my trainers on very slowly. Yeah, you would just want to. And again, there's another, people were laughing at that moment, and that's when he discovers a really badly buried friend of his. I don't know which one it is.
Was that Simon that's buried? Yes,
the English one. No, because he gets, oh yeah, one of them has one of them is sort of flayed and his back is turned into the spread eagle. Or
is that Simon?
Called.
That's
the
Simon,
golden
isn't
eagle.
It? That's Simon.
Yeah, that's the.
Is that Simon?
The tall English guy.
Yeah. It's Josh that was in the earth, wasn't it?
So you see his legs sticking out of like a rose bed or something. And I'm like, that's lazy burying, or maybe it's meant to be like a weird foot flower.
The elements, foot flower. It's pretty. Earth, air, fire, water. So Connie, apparently, you don't see it in the film. The director's cut makes it a bit more clear as to what happened to her, but she was drowned.
Okay.
And so Simon has the wings, the blood eagle, the lungs pulled out of his back.
Which is a real Viking kind of punishment.
Yeah, which is air. Fire, Christian gets burned in the bear suit. And what did I not say?
Earth?
Earth is Josh, because he was buried in there.
Oh, so we've got the four elements as well. I like that. I didn't see that. And yes, we didn't see and apparently the director's cut also makes you not like Christians so much. It delves into their relationship a bit more.
Right. But yeah, anyway, she chooses to, Dani chooses to sacrifice him and not the Haga member. Yeah. Who would have been totally happy, by the way, to have been chosen.
Do you know what?
Sacrifice, because they're all okay with this.
I've got a point on this one.
Yeah.
Just a little one. So at the very end, when they're in the ceremonial triangular sort of killing hut, and
Kill hut.
So again, it all looks a bit almost comic. I mean, it's not comical, but Christian is shoved into the sort of outside corpse of a bear, like the insides have been
it is
taken
comical,
out.
but it's
And then
horrific,
he's
yeah.
sort of sitting there with this bear head on, and well, he's inside a bear, must be really hot. And then there's various other members, people that are already dead,
Yeah.
and they're stuffed into scarecrows, and they're placed
Mark is
in the
made into a
ceremonial
scarecrow, and
kill hut. And then there's someone who's volunteered,
2 volunteers, aren't they?
and they are Haga.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? So this I thought was key, but I guess it's just how you would react. I think it's almost saying, oh, everything seems fine. Everything's fine until it's happening to you. Because they're sort of sitting there, and at first they're okay. And it's quite horrific. It really freaks me out. Burning, by the way, I can barely watch it, like whether it's a film or in real life. It really freaks me out. I think I was burnt as a witch at some point.
Have you seen someone burnt in real life? I said burning it, whether I see it on a film or in real life.
No, but not to that extent. My son got burnt, but not with fire,
sorry,
with a glue. No, with a glue gun. Anyway, no, just the sort of concept of it, because I know, if you hear about it in a car accident or something blows up, I'm like, it just freaks me out. I can handle almost anything else. Fire, I can't handle it. It makes me feel sick. Anyway, so they're in this hut and they're about to die, and they seem okay at first. They're quite calm, and then as the flames get closer, so the people go in.
Yes.
Here we are. We're not dying. La la la. Here's a torch. They set fire and they walk away. And as soon as the flames get closer, they are screaming. They're not just going, oh, this is fine.
No, they are.
They are like, shit, this, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's really happening. I can't believe it. And can't believe it.
Poor Christian can't let that out because he's so drugged up. He must be feeling it all inside.
Well, that's another thing that I think is very cruel. So the other element of the drugging, because he gets drugged quite a few times actually. One of them is to make him sexually high.
And then he's paralysed.
And then he's paralysed, so he can't move. So he's sitting there in this chair, he's being wheeled around. And that's another element of cruelty.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because why as well? Why have they made him, he can't even fight back or run away?
No. Well,
So I think that's a real added bit of villainy.
But so to go back to talking about Dani then, who we've seen presented as, we see the film through her eyes, we see her presented as the victim, and we see her as the only one amongst the outsiders who seems to value community and teamwork. By the end, she is fully, seemingly indoctrinated into the cult. She has just witnessed the sex ritual, not knowing exactly what it is. All she saw when she looked through the keyhole of the door was her boyfriend having sex with the red-headed villager,
And everyone watching.
And she's like devastated by what she's just seen.
There's that good emotional purging moment where the
with all the other
Haga,
women.
because they believe that emotions should be shared, which I quite like. So when it's quite an odd scene, she's like going, I can't do it. She's like literally screaming, and then all the other women are holding her and holding her space and experiencing it with her, which might actually just make you worse. I don't know.
Well, they were doing that in the sex scene as well, weren't they? The women were making the noises
together.
that the other, certainly the girl was making. Perhaps. I can't remember. I don't think Christian was making any noises, so drugged up. And then at the end, when the burning is happening and they're screaming inside, the people outside are
they're flailing around as well and doing. So they try, and I guess it's emotional empathy, to share emotion and things like that, and to respect what someone's going through. Again, some people online have been like, oh, the cheating scene. He wasn't cheating. I wouldn't call that cheating. She may have
taken it that way because she doesn't know anything about
and it would be a disturbing image.
Yeah. And she's already at her lowest ebb.
But is it enough to put him to death via
Absolutely
burning
not.
alive?
She's not right-minded, is she? Because
I think she's got PTSD.
And she's probably got drugs in her system. Certainly the pulsing flowers in her headdress suggest that. But when given the choice of sacrificing the presumably willing Haga member versus Christian, who is paralysed in a wheelchair through drugs, not permanently paralysed, she chooses to burn Christian, which is evil. However way you look at it, that is not a nice thing to do. Even if your relationship is on the floor, you know, he's not been, as we've discussed, he hasn't been abusive. He's just not right together.
Exactly.
And then as she's had this frown on her face the entire film. The corners of her mouth have been downturned in the only way Florence Pugh can do. And then we see it slowly turn into a smile, and it's soft and gentle at first, and then turns into this quite kind of maniacal grin almost.
Yeah,
Doesn't
like
quite
from
reach
the
her eyes.
smile films where you're not smiling with your eyes basically.
Yeah.
It's an evil smile. But it's good and it's subtle, and I think it had to happen. I like the ending. I'm just not agreeing with people out there who thinks that he had it coming.
No.
I don't think he was toxic. I don't
Other
think
than being an American individual.
an American individual idiot, but ultimately, I mean, and I don't want to be too black and white, but if we're looking at talking about villainy, I'd say the Haga, you know, for better or worse, are the villain. You know, in terms of committing official crimes of murder, it would be the Haga, and then she becomes part of that. But then again, I like the way that she is literally elevated. Like, you know, when she wins the dance, obviously I think the girls have been told to drop out of this dance. I did have something about that, and I can't
find it.
I can't find it. No, I think it might be in the research that we did for the actual screening that we had the other day. I have got some other facts for you, but that apparently is a real dance. It's called it's like it's a folk story in Sweden. I can't remember what it's called, and it was about these people who danced till death. You dance till you die, and it's like a dance led by the devil. So that's based on a folk story, like a folk tale, like a fairy tale in Sweden, and obviously they have been dropping like flies, I think. You know, to make her win. And then she's literally elevated, isn't she, on a platform, and she's crowned the queen, not the May Queen, sorry.
Yeah, it is the May Queen.
Oh, they call it May Queen.
Yeah.
This is why I'm confused with Midsummer, May Day, May Queen. Okay. She's the May Queen. She's put, they give her a ridiculous amount of flowers, don't they? I mean, it's like the biggest floral dress. That's high fashion.
It's quite shapeless. I mean, it's triangular.
I could see it on a runway,
like
to be fair.
Hut.
It's a bit over the top. And she's sort of stuck in the middle of all these, like, it's almost grotesque though. It's so over the top.
Yeah.
Like, how colourful can you be? And she's almost being suffocated by these colours and these flowers and this symbolism. And I suppose at the end, she literally, figuratively, rises above everything and makes the decision to purge her entire life and, you know, her American life, her American boyfriend, and possibly, stay with this new family.
Yeah, well, she said from the beginning, she was all, you know, she's lost community, she's lost connection. She always wanted connection. She wanted to connect and communicate with Christian, who was resistant or unable to do that, and she's found that in this very effective community that seems to muddle along. I say muddle, it's not muddling, is it? They're all very content, and they have a plan, and they all accept their roles, and they accept death, and from that perspective it is idyllic. But of course what they're doing is monstrous, and it is evil, as I talked about.
To an outsider.
It is because it's calculated. As I said, they know about the outside world, because we know that Pele and Ingmar have been out there gathering people and clearly able to fit very easily into the outside world. So they have knowledge of the way the outside world works. Certainly that guy in the commune also says we don't break the law. He says he wouldn't have allowed Connie to sit on Simon's lap in the car because that's illegal. And so they have knowledge of the laws of Sweden, which
do.
presumably also include murder as a crime.
Yeah, well, but they're not seeing it as murder, I guess. I mean, they don't really go into the whys of why they need these victims, I don't think, but it's certainly only every 90 years.
That's all right then.
That's all right then.
All right.
Oh yeah, I have got it here. The name of the cult. So the name Haga comes from Hagalaten. Hagalaten. It just sounds like that ice cream. Haagen-Dazs.
Sorry, Swedish people.
Comes from Haagen-Dazs, yeah. No, the name Haga comes from Hagalaten. The Haga song, a Swedish folk legend about a group of people who danced themselves to death, lured by a musician who was actually the devil. The customs of this surface-happy commune, I've put here, are a mix then of real Nordic folk stories, tradition, numerology and runes. But they all have their basis in fact. But of course, there's a lot of artistic freedom as well in the film. And I just want to say, because I was doing some research, you know that horrible event on the cliff?
Yes.
Sorry. It's actually called. It's called Ättestupa.
Yeah.
Well, they call it Ättestupa in the film,
I think
don't
that
they?
they do, but
Yeah.
I think that word maybe just refers to cliff, but they've used it in this way.
Yeah, but there is if you do like your folklore, there's an old Nordic folklore. You know they're really into their giants there. We don't really have that in English folklore.
The Troll
giants,
is a
Norwegian,
film. Anyway.
Norwegian film, yeah.
So they have
giant. No, there's Troll as well.
And Troll, yeah.
They have giants in their Nordic and Swedish folklore, and apparently the giants couldn't die. And when it came time for them to just sort of maybe they were ill or whatever, or they wanted to not exist anymore, they would then leap off mountains in order to kill themselves. And there's also stories that, and they don't know whether this is based in fact or not, in Sweden, of in times of famine and poverty in history a long time ago, old people would sacrifice themselves for the benefit of the community, because there wasn't enough food around.
I mean, you know, my first thoughts on this procedure, ritual, when we need to talk about that, Ättestupa, the 72, I thought, well, you know, they get a longer crack at life than they do in Logan's Run, where they're killed at 25.
What's the one where you're killed at 30? Oh, I thought that was like...
I thought that was 25. Is it 30?
I don't know, but there's one... Oh, maybe it's 25. Jesus Christ, that's terrible. They're both terrible.
So, you know...
Yeah, and
be thankful you're not in the future. Be thankful you're in the Swedish commune in modern day.
Yes, so I mean, there's tons you can talk about with this film. There's a lot of clues, riddles, symbols, numerology. There's hidden things that Ari Aster has put in the film and literally woven into the fabric of, say, the tapestry at the very beginning. I've seen that in various TV series as well since, where you have little clues as to what they do that in the very, very nothing to do with this film, but The White Lotus, which is a TV series, each the beginning of it has a kind of tapestry or strange wallpaper where all the characters are presented to you, and there are hints and clues as to exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you go back and watch it and go, there's a picture of someone, you know, being burnt, or a scarecrow, or there's lots of hints.
Yeah.
So
and the love potion, the love spell, or whatever they call it, the
love juice, that's real,
with
isn't
the
it?
menstrual blood. Oh, that's depicted in the film in a tapestry.
So if anything, it's
with
a
the
highly...
menstrual blood and the pubes in the pie.
Have a pube.
Whatever they were eating.
Pube pie. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of a funny-ish moment as well, when he sort of like pulls a pube out of his mouth during the ceremonial feast.
But he must have, because I think she must have put more than one pube in there. She must have eaten a few. Not realised.
Well, he didn't put the pube back in his mouth and eat it, did he?
No, he didn't.
He didn't go, ooh, num num num.
But he must have already eaten some.
So yeah, well it worked.
It did.
Whatever, it did work, ladies.
Well, did
so
it, or did the drugs work?
the drugs always work. Thank you, Verve.
I was going to say the verb. You said they don't work,
They
but
do.
they're wrong.
They do. So, if anything, I think the film is deserving of at least 2 viewings because you can always find more to see and more opinions and more to think about when you watch the film, which I think is a real win in itself.
Yeah.
All Midsummer haters out there.
Midsommar. I've still got loads more to say, but I'm not gonna because.
Yeah, it's a big one. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it is a big one, but we'd love to know what you think. Are we on the right track here? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Tell us your thoughts, please.
If you can be asked, yeah.
On Instagram or YouTube or Patreon or wherever else you find us.
Patreon. Yes, indeed.
That was
I'm
very
gonna
breathy.
putting my strange my ceremonial
I-
headpiece on again.
I have not prepared a quote about evil.
And we've even decorated our set with lovely flowers to lure you into the false sense of security that we're here to be nice to you and we're lovely ladies with our plaits. Show me your nice head plait. I love that. But no, we're just plain evil.
Plain evil. Well, on that note, thank you for all your fabulous insights.
Oh, that's good.
And thank you to Ben. Thank you to Ben Wheatley. We will do an episode on Kill List, and I may trot out that quote again then because inevitably there will be different listeners. Sorry if you'll end up hearing it again, but you know it's Ben Wheatley. I'll see what the quality of the recording is like because I did record him telling me this. But
Yeah, it's quite a good answer.
Yeah.
It's quite an academic answer when you're sort of put on, difficult
spot.
question. If you asked me that without me being able to research it, I don't know if I'd come up with quite as intellectual response as Ben Wheatley
he's
did.
a very smart man.
He's
anyway.
a smart man.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it from us. Next time, have we already? Oh, we've already teased it, I think.
Oh, tease it again.
Next time, folks, we're delving into Kim's absolute favourite film, at least from her youth.
Yeah.
It's Extra!
Oh my gosh.
And I'm hoping that we're going to have a little giveaway as well.
Maybe another little surprise, but stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Until next time, stay
evil.
Ooh. Stop.
Hey.
Stop you.
Well done.
Hour and 12. Wow. Bye.
There's definitely